Are you actually in your body right now? Is it possible that you might actually have a tendency to leave your body and dissociate without even knowing? This is what we're talking about in this video. We're going to talk about 4 key signs of dissociation. Here we go. Welcome back. Leslie Huddart here. I am a healer and spiritual guide, and I help empaths, HSPs, highly sensitive people release the trauma trapped in their body without years of therapy. I teach you how to become an empath ninja, an empowered, practical ninja empath. And in this video, we're going to talk about some signs of dissociation, because there are ways that we full on disassociate in terms of traumatic events, but what people don't realize is folks who are sensitive tend to be either micro disassociating in many different ways and often not even know it. So what are some signs that dissociation is happening? Number 1 is that you notice that you can't really get in touch with your body. Now, this is tricky because the average person generally isn't very in touch with their body to begin with, but most folks who are on this sort of sensitivity spectrum can usually feel into their body. What I mean by that is kind of bringing your mind and your awareness to kind of touch base, or might be visualizing that part of your body or having a sensation or awareness of it, almost as if from the inside out. That's what I mean when I say getting in touch with. But when we're sort of out of ourselves, you become a little bit more of the watcher versus the feeler. So you'll start to notice that maybe you're sort of watching yourself a little bit more, or you're aware, I can look and I can see my knee there, but I can't really get in touch with it. So going from watcher down into feeler. If you're not able to actually feel into and connect with the body, you're probably not really in your body fully. Sign number 2 is that in a similar way, you also tend to feel a little numb emotionally. Now, this can happen for a couple of reasons. Sometimes it can be because what I call our protector system, or part of our nervous system and the part of us that tries to keep us safe from trauma or past hurts that have happened, the protector system will wall things off and not be able to get in touch with them. But it can also be a sign that you are not really in your body. You're a little disassociated when you just feel numb. You can't actually feel the feeling. Sometimes I will see clients, this happen with clients, when they're talking about something that's actually quite disturbing, something that's very difficult emotionally that has happened, but they're sort of explaining in a way that is super, super detached. Now remember, disassociation is a protectionary mechanism. So your body, in a good way, is separating you out so you don't have to feel it. The problem is when we're doing healing work, we have to be aligned and in touch with it. That doesn't mean that we have to reprocess it or rethinking like is sometimes done in desensitization and different types of therapy. We don't have to do that, but we do have to be in our body to help all of the levels align and actually release something. So if you're feeling numb, or sometimes you might even notice a change in your voice where you're sort of what I call sidestepping. So you're saying the words, but it's coming from this more hollow place, or it's a different sort of maybe even professional tone of voice, but it's not really landing. There's something in there that's a little bit hollow because you're not with yourself. Sign number 3 that you might be not in your body is actually lacking a memory of a certain time or event. There's been studies that show a large, somewhat scary percentage of us, for different parts of when we're driving, we tend to sort of not quite be with ourselves. It's amazing. The car ferries get us to where we are going. But if you've ever done something or gone through something and then you can't really remember like how it went or what steps you took to go there, are a sign that you weren't quite with yourself. And again, we all might do this to certain low degrees when we're in sort of a monotonous type of state or staring out the window, but it also happens when we're a little bit disassociated, not with ourselves. I've had clients who say things like, yeah, I don't really remember much from when I was a kid. It could have been because there was a lot of trauma happening. It wasn't even safe to be in the body. The memory will often sometimes be affected. And number 4, another key sign that you are not in your body is a sense of physically floating or feeling a little fuzzy or distracted or hard to really follow. I'll notice this with clients sometimes when we're doing healing and part of themselves have a strong protective response, they just sort of drop off mid-sentence, or I ask a question and there's just sort of silence because the system has come in and sort of pushed them out because it got too close to something that may have been protected or painful. So if you're feeling feeling a little foggy or a little floaty, that could be different for different people. Also feeling a little nauseous on the inside or other physical symptoms coming up as sort of the body's protective way to try and keep you safe. Now, all of this I've talked about in other videos, why it's important to stay in the body. The long and short of it is that your mind-body system has different layers, and part of dissociation is those layers sort of getting a little distance in between each other. Like we said, that's a protective mechanism, but the problem is that your physical body needs your chi body and your mind-body system fully aligned together to function optimally. So this is important. It's okay to notice that we might have disassociating as a coping mechanism, but ultimately in the path of healing and the path of self-mastery, we need to work with the inner parts of the self. We need to do subtle body work with all parts of the mind-body system so that we can come to that place where it is safe to be in the body. This will build what I call subtle body tolerance, your ability to experience different emotions or states or other people going through different emotions while still staying in your body yourself. So, 4 signs that you might not be staying in your body. 1, you can't really feel and connect with the body. 2, you can't really feel and connect with your emotions. It just feels numb. 3, you might not even have a memory afterwards of what happened or it feels a little disorienting. And 4, you might feel floaty or lightheaded or maybe even a little dizzy or nauseous because something's happening with your mind-body system that's trying to protect or distract you to keep you away from something. I hope you found these helpful in starting to come back to yourself. You are a soul with a body and you deserve great things. If you'd like more tips about how to really heal and become not just a practical, successful empath, but really stay in your body, to use the gifts of your empathic, sensitive nature without the overwhelm, that is possible. And I'll post some links below. Wishing you well and holding you in my heart. See you next time.